Hello, kings and queens of the kitchen. It's your girl Mukasehemaa here once again. Today we'll be making toolo beef, salted beef with yellow rice. So stay with me, let's enjoy this. And so let's go over the ingredients. So I have toolo beef, which is salted beef or salted lamb. I am using the lamb. And I have some rice, I have some oil, I have some salt, I have bouillon. I'm using the chicken bouillon. I also have jumbo that if you have that you can use it, or Maggi, that's fine too. I have some eggs, I have some tomatoes, I have some onions, pepper, and then turmeric. Yes, that's what we'll be using to cook our yellow rice or aguamo with the toolo beef. So let's get started. So I'll go ahead and wash my toolo beef. As you can see, there is salt on it, so I'll wash it nicely. Normally when we buy it from the market, you see flies over and all, but this one is homemade. I'll be making a video on the recipe so that you guys can see how I made the toolo beef. So I'm washing it nicely and then it will go onto the fire. So I'm using hot water since I want to speed up the process. You can use cold water, that is fine too. And then I'll go ahead, I made some mess just cleaning up. I'll go ahead and put some oil in the pan. So that's vegetable oil. Yes, just a little, made about 2 or 3 tablespoons depending on the quantity of rice you're cooking. I'll go ahead and cut my onions. That will go into the oil. So I used a medium-sized onion and then about a quarter more. I like to use more onion when I'm making this. So this is basically aguamo, as we call it in Ghana. Yes, I'll stir that gently. So what we're trying to achieve is slightly bent onions, so that we'll get those flavors into the rice. And then I'll go ahead and pour the first batch of the water on the toolo beef out. And so I normally throw away the first batch and then pour another water on it to cook. With the second one, I'll be using it. So I normally cook the beef for about 4 to 5 times to get rid of the salt. So I added turmeric, 2 teaspoons of turmeric to that, just to get the color. You can skip this if you don't want it, if you don't want the rice to be yellow. But when I'm cooking my aguamo and I want the color yellow, I use turmeric. Some people use curry, that is fine. And so I poured in my washed rice. If you don't want to wash your rice, that is fine. As I always say, your kitchen, your rules. So we'll fry this rice so it's opaque, it's well fried. What we are trying to do is to get rid of the starch. So I go ahead and use the water or the stock from the toolo beef or the salted lamb. That's what we're using to cook. We want those flavors in the rice. It has a really nice aroma, so that's like an extra addition to the rice. Yes, so on goes another water. So we're trying to get rid of the salt from because it's really salty. It's really salty, so you want to cook it well to get rid of all the salt. So as the rice is on fire, I normally don't cover it at this stage. I go ahead and prepare my pepper, the pepper that will be eaten the aguamo with. So that's habanero. I think I used about 8 to 10, but it depends on how hot you want your pepper. I used about between 8 to 10 pieces for one tomato. But if you don't want it so spicy or so hot, you have to reduce the quantity of the pepper. I like my pepper very spicy, especially when I'm eating it with aguamo. Some people even just use the pepper and the onion without adding any tomato to it, but I add one tomato. So as you can see, I cover the rice after most of the water evaporated from it. That's what I do. You can cover it from the beginning. It's your kitchen, your rules. So checking on the rice, we are just stirring to get rid of those sticking under the pot. It's on medium heat though. So I'm transferring the toolo beef onto the rice because I want that smell in the rice, like the aroma from the toolo beef in the rice. So I'll go ahead and boil some eggs, and then still on the pepper, just rinsing the tomatoes, get rid of the seeds inside. You can blend it with it if you want to. You know, some tomatoes are so watery that I normally get rid of the seed. This one is looking really good, but some tomatoes are so watery that I get rid of the seeds so that the pepper won't be so watery. Like it wouldn't be so much, there wouldn't be so much pepper, there wouldn't be so much water in the pepper. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll go ahead and grind this. You can use the blender if you don't have the earthenware, that is fine too, but to me, I like to use the earthenware because it has this natural flavor. I don't know, I think those from Ghana will understand what I'm trying to say. It tastes different, it tastes better when you use the earthenware than when you blend it. So I'll just go ahead and then mix the rice so that it's evenly cooked. So I push the wooden spoon under and then flip it over, push it and then flip it over. That's what we're trying to do. Mixing the toolo beef so that we get those flavors into the rice. So I'll go ahead and use a parchment paper or a baking paper to cover it. We don't want any water from the lid draining into the rice, so that way the parchment paper traps all the water so it wouldn't get to the rice. We don't want the rice so mushy. And then I'll go ahead and fry my egg. So we are eating this with some fried egg, some boiled egg, and then the toolo beef. If you have sardine, you can add it. If you have chofi, that's turkey tail, that is another addition too. So the rice is done. I'm just dishing out. That looks good. My house smells amazing. You're invited, guys. My black pepper, it's optional, you can leave that out. I have my red pepper. If you have green pepper too, that is fine. I have my egg with pepper as we do it in Ghana, and then on goes my fried egg. Look at that, guys. Look at this. I hope you try this. Thank you so much for spending time with me in the kitchen. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for my subscribers and the new subscribers too. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. Like this video, share, comment. I like to read your comments. Thank you, and then see you in the next video. Hey,